Photopea tutorial, you first need to find a cityscape, whether you use one that's given to you or you find one off the web. But find a cityscape and know what city it came from. Now you're going to want, at least in my class, you're going to want to go to New, and you're going to want to get an HD frame at 72 DPI. Now, in Mrs. Klein's class, you might be doing 8 by 10, but in this class, you'll be doing a 1920 by 1080. And why don't you just, we'll name it Cityscape. All right. And create. There you go. Now, what you need to do is find your picture and frame it in this HD frame. Let's go. Now, we're not just going to open the picture. We're going to go open in place and find it in your Google Drive. I've got New York. Picked kind of an ambitious picture here. Here's the background layer. I'm going to name this layer the name of the, actually I'm going to name it City. So this is going to be my background layer. Well, the first thing is you need to make this a black and white image. So you're going to click on the layer that you have, go up to Image, Adjustment, black and white. And you can check out how the preset looks, but usually the preset's pretty good. You can mess around with these if you like. Hit OK, and you're good to go. What you want to do for painting, you're going to find the paintbrush. Here it is right here. I'll zoom in to show you. There's the paintbrush. You click on the paintbrush and choose a color. Well, I'm going to go down here. If I could see my mouse, go down here and click on the color palette so I can choose a color. I'll start with red. Start with a good red and hit OK. Now I want to make sure I have the square brush. So I go up here and I find the square brush. It'll help you brush the edges of these buildings a little better. So you click on the square brush and we'll make it a little bigger so we can see it. All right, nice work. So see, you'll have a square brush. Good. You want to put, now before you start painting on here, you got to do a couple things. You want to take the blend mode and change it to overlay. Blend to overlay. So you're painting in an overlay mode. You also want, you don't want to paint right on top of this layer. So you want to create a new layer. Right here, you can create a new layer. Or you go up to Layer and say New Layer. All right. This is going to be my red layer because I'm painting in red. So I'm going to call this Red. And before you start painting, right, on overlay, you want it to be at a 30% opacity. You want to be able to see through it. So while clicked on this upper layer, you want to change this to 30. There you go. 30. Now you can zoom on out, or I'll zoom on out. And you have 30% opacity. You're painting and you have an overlay blend. All right, now you're ready to get to work. So you want to zoom in to one of these buildings. Let's do the circular building real quick here. Looks like a circular building to me. So I'm going to hit the Control plus and zoom in. I can zoom in pretty far. You can also use this magnifying glass right here, and you can click to zoom in. Now, zoom in as far as you want, but then you want to kind of adjust it. So I take this hand, and I pull this over here. Pull this around and center it right where I want it to be so I can paint it. You can even zoom in a little more, zoom out, whatever you like. And now we'll go back to the brush. You can see the brush is still square. I have an overlay, and I'm painting on the red layer at 30%. Now, right now my brush is way too big, right? But it looks kind of cool. I can see through it. I guess I could do the edges like this. It'd be kind of good. Yeah. But you can always make the brush smaller or bigger. This kind of works a little bit, huh? So sometimes you may want to get surgical and get right in that little area. I'm not going to be able to use this big brush down here, but what I can do is I can go up here and change the size of my brush down so I can get in those little areas. There we go. And from a distance, I think this is the same building. Brush it up. There you go. Now, if you hit Control negative, or you go back to your magnifying glass, and if you click, it's going to zoom in. But if you hit Alt, it changes to a negative. You can see right here, it changes to a negative. So you want to hit Alt and zoom out. I think it's easier to hit Control negative, but now you're doing great. You got a red building. Now do some more. But remember, you're going to repeat this step over and over again until you got a pretty cool cityscape. Now, don't forget to create a new layer. I'm going to pick a new color, maybe blue. Excuse me. Pick a new layer, blue. Pick a new color, blue. Pick a new layer. So layer, new layer. And call it blue. There you go. Now I'm working on this layer. I'm going to zoom in and start coloring. Let's do this big one. You can see all the different colors I've used right here. I even doubled up on some colors because I was running out of colors. That's fine to do. And I even grouped some of these because I want you to do it like about 10. So I'm going to reuse red on this side. Now, let's do that. So I'm going to go to red. All of these are 30%, every single one I added. I'm going to add to my red. Now I'm going to zoom in, hitting Control plus or using my magnifying glass. I'm going to group some of these together. So what I'm going to use is the Polygon tool, Polygon Lasso tool. You should be using this actually the whole time. I'm going to hit my Polygon Lasso tool and I'm going to start outlining all these buildings. Click here, up, 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 up. I'm not going to get too exact with it because it's going to look all right. I can go outside of the picture, go down here. Now I just have to trace the trees. I don't want to get the trees in there. But I'm not going to go crazy on it. I'm just going to kind of grab here, down, there, and right where I'm finished, I can double click too. And now check this out. This is pretty awesome. As long as I'm on the red color and I pick red, right? I already have 30%. I don't even need to go to my brush because I have this whole area clicked. I can go to Paint Bucket and just drop it. Boop. Look at that. And it looks pretty good. If I click here, if I click off, unselect, or go. And now look, it looks pretty good on the trees there. Zoom out. Look at that. And if I finish up all of the other buildings, then it's looking pretty good here. What do you guys think? Pretty good. All right, next thing we're going to do is put a title. I want New York across the sky. A layer, because text adds its own layer. So I'm going to click my text box, click anywhere, and a new text layer is going to appear. Now, I'm going to put in New York. Now you can't see it, that's okay. But I'm going to double click it. I'm going to highlight it, just like I was doing Google Docs. And then I make it bigger. All right, as big as I want it to be. I'm going to take this layer right here and put it all the way at the top. Pause the video whenever you need to make this happen. I'm going to put New York right across the sky. Now I could change my font and do all that cool stuff. Go to text. I kind of want this thing to like have some New York style, right? So I'm going to pick something with kind of like that. There you go. And then I'm going to double click on the layer. Double click. So I can get my layer styles because I want this thing to look hot. Right? So I'm going to click outer glow. See what that, oh no, drop shadow. Ooh, I like that. Always like some drop shadow. If I click on drop shadow, click on the word, I can, it's kind of far away from the thing. I like it a little closer. Just give it a little bit of je ne sais quoi. Color overlay. And maybe I could bevel it. That looks kind of cool. I like that. All right. Yeah, that's cool. I'm going to make it bold. Right, a little bit bigger. All right, that's great. I could put it over here, make it smaller, whatever I want.